1. Oh, we're live, pal. Here we go.
Pal, WrestleMania is in the books. What a show for night one, pal. What a show.
Yeah, in all sincerity, I thought it was a pretty good show. I really did. I enjoyed it. I was shocked at how good of a show this was. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I did not go into this show with any expectations. We all knew Cody was gonna return. That ended up being better than expected, but we'll get into it. We could just BS until some of the viewers straddle in.
Bro, I was so sure it'd be Shane McMahon. Like, if I had to bet money, I'd say Shane McMahon was going to come out and face Seth Rollins. So
you would have bet Shane McMahon.
I would have put money on Shane McMahon or Bray Wyatt over Cody Rhodes. So there you go.
Wow. Okay. Well, what are the odds? Like, did it ever cross your mind that maybe it could be Triple H too? Like, right after Triple H announces his retirement, and then 2 days later he's like, "I gotcha." Triple H comes out and just like, "I'm gonna bury Seth Rollins."
Bro, Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard gave Paul Levesque a cardiac event. Just remember that, pal. They gave him a cardiac event.
Yeah, they should be thrown in jail for giving Paul Triple H Levesque a cardiac event.
That's terrible.
They should not be allowed to walk the streets freely, bro, for conspiring to murder Triple H.
That's terrible. That is terrible. But it's going to be a fun little stream. I don't know how long we're going to go for tonight because it is after the show. Is it midnight over there for you guys? Or like, what's the time?
Yeah, it's 12:30. The show ended about like 12:05 my time. Yeah, we're going to stream until 4 in the morning my time. So we got a 4-hour stream. We're going to critically break through every second of every bit of action that it transpired on this show.
Yeah.
We're going to give you all the headlocks and the arm drags and the crisp work rate. We're going to go through it all, bro. The commentary, one by one. I got my notes here. I got like 6 pages of notes that I wrote by hand in my notebook as I was studying this show. So, yeah.
Kevin, were you drunk tweeting during the show?
No. I've been sober for like a week now, so
you were sober when you tweeted that Cody Rhodes has made himself in WWE, and now you're on cringe wrestling takes again.
Yeah, of course. I mean, how can you disagree with me? The fact that people are so mad means that I'm right.
That's a good indicator.
If I wasn't correct, half of the all the AEW fans would be mad about what I said. So what's up, Maxi Milano? What's up, BHB?
What's up, people? How we doing? What did you think of the show? Rate it out of 10. Let's get some.
I know BHB was there. We were on a Zoom call as we were taking pages of notes.
So, bro, BHB was attentively watching WrestleMania 18, pal.
I know BHB. Yeah, me and BHB were studying this show, pal. Oh, we got Y2J Fanboy in the house.
Hey, yo!
Look who it is.
Oh, your man Madcap Moss was on this show tonight. How did that make you feel?
He gave the show 7.5, but if Madcap Moss had not been on the show, it would have gotten a 4.
Bro, Madcap Moss had a 6-foot-long sword named Angela swung at him in an attempted assassination by a 6'5" Scotsman.
My parents were genuinely concerned with the safety of everyone involved in that match.
Really?
Yeah, because of the sword. Yeah.
Bro, Drew McIntyre comes down so casually with that bloody sword. It's hilarious.
Yeah, the way he swings that thing around, that's terrifying. Like, they got me thinking. I'm like, what if the sword slipped out of his hand and like hit somebody in the third row? Like what are we gonna do at that point on live television, live on Peacock and the WWE Network? You got a sword slipping out of a Scottish man's hand and landing like right through the shoulder of like a 36-year-old man. What is WWE gonna do at that point?
They cut the pay-per-view off like right there. It becomes like the biggest event. You got you doing videos on it in like 10 years. Like the tragedy that was WrestleMania 38. The dark story about WrestleMania. What Vince McMahon does not want you to know about WrestleMania 38.
Yeah, the show gets cut. Instead we get like a 2.5-hour round table of like Stone Cold Steve Austin and Booker T talking about great wrestling matches.
They cut to like Stone Cold's, Broken Skull sessions featuring The Godfather. Like, oh, that's terrible.
Wow.
Hey, wow.
All right, are you ready to talk about the show now, pal?
Yeah, I am. How do we go about this? Because I've never been one who loves doing the chronological go through the show type review, but I'm down to do it for this. If you are, I don't really mind.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think we could just talk about it, the matches that we feel were notable. I think the 3 most notable matches of the night. I don't want to butcher this. I'll say 4. We'll say 4 for the sake of being correct here. The Miz and Logan Paul versus the Mysterios. Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins. And Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens. I think those are the 4 most notable matches of the show. I think we can both agree with that.
There's any debate for me on that one. I'm not going to lie and act like Drew McIntyre swinging a sword at Baron Corbin is better. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre terrifying my parents, pal.
Bro, Drew McIntyre had the Garcias shook, bro.
It's funny, we like the last time we streamed, I was sick, and I'm still sick. So long-term storytelling.
The same sickness, or like were you sick 3 weeks ago? Now you're just sick for this stream.
No, same sickness. Same sickness. I've been coughing for 3 straight weeks.
Wow. But Kevin, is that why you haven't done a video in 3 weeks?
Yeah, part of it. Yeah, that's part of the reason.
This is what the people want to know, and I can't really comment because I haven't uploaded in like a month. But anyway.
Yeah. So back to it. So, the Miz and Logan Paul versus the Mysterios. Not really a bell-to-bell classic, but I'll say this: I think Logan Paul is a natural. Like he just everything he did from what I saw looked like he knew what he was doing. He had been training and he'd been taking this serious. That's kind of the stigma on the Paul brothers, that they don't take what they do serious, which I mean they do, because they're making millions of dollars as boxing promoters and YouTubers. So it's silly that people think that. I guess we could talk about the shocking ending of the Miz turning on Logan Paul. You know what's funny is I saw a clip on, I think it was SportsCenter, posted on Instagram of the Miz turning on Logan Paul, and the caption was like, Logan Paul did not see this coming. Everybody's in the comments like, of course he saw it coming. They rehearsed it earlier in the day. It's scripted. Imagine being a grown man watching wrestling. I'm like, bro, like, come on. Like, can we just enjoy it, bro? Can we just enjoy it? Like,
that's great. No, I really enjoyed that match. I thought, like, if I'm breaking down how I was viewing the show, the first match of the night being the Usos versus Boobs and Nakamura, the whole match literally ending with Rick Boobs like blowing out his knee, trying to do like the John Cena like AA type spot on the Usos. Like, that was mid. Unfortunately, hopefully, fingers crossed, Boobs is okay. That didn't look good at all. So hopefully he's fine. Do you have any thoughts on that while we're at it with the opener?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a weak way to open a WrestleMania. Honestly, like, you open the show with Pat McAfee having a legitimate orgasm over a 42-year-old Asian man walking down a ramp. Like that was just really just not a good way to open a WrestleMania. Like, this is supposed to be the most stupendous, a historic 2-night WrestleMania, and the open is Nakamura and Rick Boogs versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I don't know why they didn't open with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. I don't get like why that didn't open the show. I'll never understand it, but whatever. I mean, like, you put Cody Rhodes in the middle of the show.
I mean, he's a mid-carder. But no, like, even if you open the show with like Becky and Belair, like, I thought, if you open the show with Becky's entrance, then Belair with the big, like the John Cena WrestleMania 24 like band entrance with like 120 people on the stage performing, like, you open with that would be good. But Kevin, instead, the sad, vicious truth is that we open the show with Jimmy DUI Uso and Jay Uso versus, as you said, a 42-year-old Asian man who Pat McAfee was having a legitimate orgasm over. Wasn't a fake, it was a legitimate orgasm over him.
That made my mom uncomfortable. His screaming at the top of his lungs made my mom very uncomfortable. She was like, all right, I don't want to watch the show anymore. Like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he screaming into the microphone?
That's terrible. That's terrible. No, I mean, that was an okay, like, I'm really stretching okay. It was a midway to open. Like, I felt like I was watching like the SmackDown mid card, which isn't really how you want to open WrestleMania. I remember a few years back when I opened WrestleMania with Austin, Rock, and Hogan doing a segment.
Right.
And now we've got this. like even I don't even know. Like WrestleMania's opening last year was Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley in the WWE title match. This year it's a random tag match for the SmackDown belt. So not the best, but whatever.
Right. Yeah, not the best opener. Rick Boogs getting legitimately injured. That's a little bit tough to see. I hope he's okay. The spot that he got injured on, I mean, a bit of a fluke. We've seen a ton of guys do it. It is what it is. It happens. Yeah. But I don't really have much else to say about that.
Yeah, no, move on. No one cares. Yeah. We're losing viewers talking about it. Then we move on. Second match, Kevin. This one, Drew McIntyre, we've made a thing about this for months. He wrapped up this 6-month-long storyline with Baron Corbin. Do you have any thoughts on this? I
already gave my thoughts. My parents were terrified of a Scottish man swinging a sword. I had to explain to my parents that what happened with Baron Corbin, why he was sad, and then why he got money, and then why they kept they were like, why do they keep showing him being sad? Like, what does this have to do with anything? That's how long this storyline went on. There's literally like a year-long storyline of the arc of Baron Corbin going from like whatever he was, the lone wolf or the whatever the hell he was, the constable, to the sad guy who's homeless and drunk, and then this guy that won millions of dollars in a casino. And then it's like, wait, why is Drew McIntyre mad at him? Why is he mad at Drew McIntyre? Like, I can't tell you that. I don't know.
Kevin, think about how everyone who doesn't watch Being the Elite felt with the Hangman Page and Kenny Omega thing. With all the nuances, all the years of long-term storytelling. Like, not saying they're the same, because Hangman and Omega is just a better story. But, like, it's that kind of thing. It just goes on so long. Especially with this, the Happy Corbin stuff started at SummerSlam last year. So it's a gripping, like, 9-month-long storyline. McIntyre and Corbin have been feuding for, what, 6 months?
Yeah.
So, like, now we're here. They had a match. It was fine. Drew kicked out at the end of days, and Twitter was freaking out, being like, oh, my God, he kicked out at the end of days. It's like, okay. Was your family like, oh, my God, he kicked out at the end of days? Like, were you throwing popcorn? Were you downing bevs? Like, how were you reacting when he kicked out?
Yeah, bro. I did like Stone Cold, bro. I cracked 2 Pepsi cans and just spilled Pepsi all over myself, bro. I was so amped up. But I mean, I saw that too. Everybody's like, oh my God, he's the first wrestler to kick out of end of days and win. Bell to bell, the match was better than expected, though. From what you would expect from Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre. Like, I'll just say that. It was a lot better than I expected.
Valid. Yeah, it was fine. It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a great match. It's just a WrestleMania undercard match. That's the best way of putting it. I like the bit afterwards, which I think we alluded to it earlier on the stream, but when you've got Drew McIntyre swinging a 6-foot-long sword at Madcap Moss, trying to assassinate him because it's a long-term story from 9 months ago when Drew McIntyre was in the Ganges fighting off Indians. Now he's at WrestleMania swinging swords, trying to kill Madcap Moss. I mean, you don't have to say that.
Yeah, that was wild. The rope cutting spot was insane. I don't know if that was legit or how they did that, but that was an insane spot in my opinion.
Well, did you see like the bottom rope in especially the next match? But I think the rest of the show, like the bottom rope was like stuffed. It was like there was like rope, and it's hard to explain, but like the ropes were stuffed because of that spot. I don't know whether they meant to do that. I mean, probably, I presume. But yeah, the production crew had a bit of work to do after that match. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Then we had The Miz, my favorite wrestler, and Logan Paul versus the Mysterios. This is one that I think you could tell, like, this one probably had the most casual interest aside from the main event on the night. I mean, it's just there's a lot there. Everybody knows Rey Mysterio. And then it's like, oh, my God, Rey Mysterio's son is a wrestler? I didn't know that. For the people that speaking for the people that don't watch wrestling, they're like, oh, my God, I didn't know Dominic was a wrestler. And then, or Eddie Guerrero's son, I should say. And then you have Logan Paul, a massive celebrity, and The Miz, whatever he is at this point. I don't know. Yeah. Like he's just a great worker, and he can cut promos. I thought it was okay. Like this match didn't steal the show the way that Bad Bunny and Damian Priest and The Miz and Morrison did last year. But I thought this was good for what it was. What did you think about it?
I was entertained by it, which is, I guess, all you really want or like need. I was mainly watching this match for Logan Paul because we can watch Mysterio's matches every week. We can watch Miz matches every week. Like, we've seen the Miz versus Rey Mysterio that many times. I wasn't like, oh my god, the Rey Mysterio hit a Hurricane Rana on the Miz because we've seen it. But when Logan Paul's doing his stuff, I always watch the celebrity matches being like, are they going to stuff up? If they do, how bad's the stuff up going to be? How entertaining is it going to be? How well are they going to perform? This match, honestly, he performed pretty well. Like, I will say that. He looked like a natural. I think that's the word that was being used, like a natural. The Three Amigos was good. The Frog Splash was good. Like what did you think of him doing Eddie's moves, pal? How'd that make you feel?
Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't think they were gonna go there, you know. And I get, and Logan Paul is a heel. Like Logan Paul is a prototypical heel in the wrestling business. Like he's literally naturally made for this. Like that's just him and his brother are perfect heels. But Logan is on a different level, you know. And I thought it was good heel work. Like I wasn't really like, I was like, oh my god, he's really doing that. Like I was a little disgusted, but at the end of the day, it's wrestling, you know, and
yeah,
that's what they're gonna do. And the shimmy was a little bit, you know, that was a little bit disrespectful, and that's what it's designed to be.
Yep.
But a picture perfect frog splash, not bad. It looked like he practiced that probably 1,000 times, but he hit it. Of course, the celebrity got the win, so yeah. I don't think either one of us is shocked there. The celebrity wins. The Miz turning on Logan Paul. Is this going to be a storyline? Are we going to see Logan Paul wrestle now for the next 6 months? I guess that's where we're going. We're going to have on WrestleMania Raw tomorrow. We're going to have Logan Paul come out.
No.
We're going to have babyface Logan Paul marching down to the ring, addressing his Cleveland brother, Mike the Miz Mizanin, trying to get his revenge upon him for hitting a fake finishing move on him and injuring his nose in front of his brother, in front of millions of people, pal.
Wow. So, Kevin, I'm in the nicest way possible. I'll pretend I never heard that because that's terrible.
I mean, what? Like, that for real though? Like, is this where we're going? Is Logan Paul going to be a regular wrestler now?
Well, my first thing was Logan Paul is going to go away, promote Prime for a few months, keep doing his podcast, doing Logan Paul stuff. Then he'll come back and they'll do Miz versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam, the battle for Cleveland. That's the first thing I thought. Yeah, I pictured Jake Paul spraying the Miz with pepper spray in the eyes in the SummerSlam match, and it goes all over TMZ.
Jake Paul shoot punches Mike the Miz Mizanin, breaks his jaw.
It's like an episode of Miz and Mrs. season 6, where Jake Paul has Maurice's next child, and it's a big scandal. Oh no. Oh no, but also this got me thinking. So I was in one of these Twitter group chats where they were saying, because obviously Miz does celebrity matches at WrestleMania now. That's the Miz's big thing. Last year was Bad Bunny. This year was Logan Paul. I saw some matchmaking as far as the Miz celebrity matches for next year. Kevin, do you want to hear this?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, so there was some potential matches, one of which was the Miz and Will Smith versus Chris Rock and his brother.
Oh my god.
Would you pay to see that in Hollywood?
I mean, you had me until you said Chris Rock and his brother. Okay. We need another wrestler in there, bro. Chris Rock needs to be teamed with somebody, because that's gonna get ugly if the Miz is the only wrestler in there. That's gonna be ugly. I don't know. Dust off. Call up John Morrison and have him be Chris Rock's partner.
Ooh, that could be money, you know. The Miz and Will Smith versus Chris Rock and John Morrison.
Yeah.
In chat, would you want to say that? Would you want to say that?
Yeah, that'd be fire.
That's low-key. I'd watch that and actually want to watch it, you know?
Exactly.
That's solid.
Or they could do the typical wrestling thing, and you have Chris Rock and Will Smith being the guys' corners, since neither one of them want to wrestle and lose their careers, you know. To the typical wrestling thing. I don't know. They have to get a younger celebrity that could actually be willing to wrestle.
Or you could really make it dramatic and get pop culture buzzing. You could do the Miz and maybe Will Smith versus Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett Smith. You could do something like that maybe, and then
August Alsina and Jada Pinkett Smith.
That's numbers. That's ratings, pal. That's ratings.
Yeah, you put August Alsina against Will Smith on pay-per-view, pal. I mean, the story writes itself.
Yeah. Put John Cena 1-on-1 versus Will Smith for ratings.
Oh god. So the next match is Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. I thought this match was pretty good. I thought it was good. Like it was, it wasn't match of the night, match of the year, or anything. I did see somebody actually say that it was match of the year.
Oh,
I saw that on my timeline. I was like, okay. I mean, sure, everybody has their things.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair won. I thought the highlight of the show was Bianca. Or the highlight of the whole match was Bianca Belair's entrance. That's what I would say.
Yeah, a Megastar's entrance. That's the best way of putting it. I think I tweeted that from memory, but yeah, it's just like you watch the entrance and go, okay, they clearly have a lot invested into this, performer, and she's really good. So second straight big WrestleMania moment, really good WrestleMania match. Was this one better than the Sasha match last year, Kevin? Would you say?
Yeah, I would. I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I think Becky's just a better wrestler than Sasha.
Oh, chat, do with that what you will. Hey, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But no, I mean, like, when you watch something like this, you watch this unfold, and they kind of repeated history with Bianca winning again at WrestleMania. I think it made sense. I like the beginning of the match where they came out and Becky like hit her finish or hit her signature, whatever it was, and she pinned Bianca immediately, and they got the false finish. I was like, oh my god, are they really gonna do this again? They're really gonna bury Bianca again?
Mm-hmm.
But nah, I mean, I don't know. What did you think though? What did you think about Bianca winning? Do you think it was the right call?
I think so, because I mean, you'll hear from these people on social media that Becky, when she's like actively employed, Becky's been champion ever since WrestleMania 35.
Right.
Like she's been a women's champion that whole time. Obviously, the pregnancy was like a year and a half where she was out, but when she's been on the roster, she's been champion for literally 3 straight years, in effect. So I think having Belair dethrone her, like it's in reality, when you put it that way, it's like a really big moment. So I'd say it's the right decision. It's like another like bow in the cap of Bianca. I think that's fair. It's
Absolutely.
like a big moment for her. Another WrestleMania moment, and fans aren't sick of her yet. Fans aren't booing. When she won this match, people were like, yeah, awesome moment for Bianca, really cool, well-deserved. She finally beat Becky, where most people are either sick of Becky or they don't really care for Becky, or they're like, yes, the heel lost. Like, it was a really good moment for Bianca. I think that's fair to say.
Absolutely. Judging from a casual fan's perspective, my parents didn't know who Bianca Belair was going into this match, and they were impressed with her. They were like, oh my god, like her hair, like the way she whips people with her hair, like that's cool, and she's athletic and she looks like a star. These are things that they're saying, like they're like, and I think I remember I read an article or I saw like a YouTube video where some people conducted a survey amongst non-wrestling fans, and they were asking people, who do you think is the potential? Who do you think has the potential to be WWE's biggest star? And they were showing clips of like Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, and the number one answer was Roman Reigns, of course. But number 2 was Bianca Belair, and this was like before she even came up to the main roster. This was like a couple of years back.
Wow.
And I think it makes sense. I think like if Bianca Belair, if they could find a way to get her more mainstream exposure, like in a way that's not forced, because last year they kind of forced it with the first like main event one-on-one women's match and all that.
Yeah.
If they could find a way to do it organically, I think they could have something that like long-term with her.
Yeah, because with her, she obviously has like the athletic prowess to where she's not just like, good wrestler B who knows moves. Like she's like athletically better than near enough most to all men on the planet. So it's like from an athletic perspective, and then from an it factor perspective, I mean the hair's just one thing, but the overall like act, the general persona, like it's really good, and you really see it nights like this. I mean, last year's WrestleMania with Sasha, that was more so about the history of it, the fact that it was the first like 2 black women competing against each other. That was the kind of whole thing last year. And now you're in the crowds, you can probably attest to that kind of thing better. It felt like this year was more so, this is her dethroning a heel we hate, whereas last year it was like, this is a history-making match with 2 women and that type of thing. That makes sense?
Right. It was more, last year was more like agenda pushing, and it's good, it's necessary. Like I think you have to do that in order to grow. Yeah. So last year there were some growing pains. People weren't really into the match; they were walking out. But this year, people were into it. They were booing Becky Lynch. They were cheering Bianca. People were just like they were chanting and loud throughout the whole match. They were invested, and it was in the middle of the card, so it didn't feel like it was being pushed down our throats or anything like that. So it was a good, perfect mix. And I think Bianca Belair, I mean, she has potential to be one of the biggest stars in WWE, like in WWE history from a women's perspective.
Easily, yeah. And because like I was thinking, I was watching Triple H's interview with Stephen A, where they were talking about like the next stars, and Triple H talking about like the how you need to find mega stars, and they're mentioning like, oh, you know, we look at nowadays, we have Roman Reigns, we have Becky Lynch, we have Charlotte Flair. I'm like, obviously Roman is like the male like megastar of today, but like I look at the female side of things, Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair are like, well, outside of Charlotte, the two big stars of the last like 5 years. Then I look at Becky and Bianca. Bianca just stands out so much more. Just as I said before, the presentation, the hair, like you mentioned how your parents reacted like watching it. Like Bianca has the it factor. So I think Bianca's just, yeah, the star pretty fairly. So.
If they could find a good foil for her, like they could feed her good heels on a consistent basis, she's gonna go up. She's gonna go up hard.
Yeah, and I don't think. I mean, she seems like one of the more easy to like baby faces, because I mean, faces are hard to like in the last like decade. I think that's one thing we found in wrestling. Heels are cool, as they're doing like WWE Evil on Peacock. Like that's a big thing. That like as Paul Heyman said, that people don't like good guys. Bianca's like an authentic, easy to like face, which is rare. So just don't ruin it, please.
We got some OGs in the chat. What's up, Landon? What's up, Destructor?
Yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo.
Bianca or Becky is cringe. Destructor, the Becky Lynch's biggest fan, the president of the Becky Lynch Facebook page right here. You know, he's all things Becky Lynch. Talk to Destructor, bro. He loves talking Becky Lynch matches, bro. But yeah, so the next match, it was Colby Lopez had an open challenge, and we didn't know who the opponent was going to be. The opponent was handpicked by Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And who did that opponent turn out to be? Give it to us, pal. Give us the big reveal. That there's adrenaline in your soul, pal.
Cody Rhodes, pal. It's Cody Rhodes. I wanted it to be Shane McMahon. Part of me deep down wanted to see the reaction if it was. It wasn't. It was Cody, which is definitely, it made for a much better moment. Like from the second we heard wrestling only is one royal family, from the moment that happened, I was like, thank God it wasn't Shane McMahon. But part of my I want to see wrestling Twitter meltdown, mentality wanted to see Shane. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Cody Rhodes. It was a sick entrance. Was it as good as like the CM Punk or like the Edge return?
No, wait. I'm sorry. His name is Cody Runnels there, John. It's Cody Runnels. We have to use their real names because we are real critical analysts, pal.
That reminds me real quick. Like they did a video package for Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville like early in the show, like after the opener. And then Dave Meltzer tweeted, Zayn versus Knoxville looks to be up next. And then every reply was just, it's on night 2, dumbass. You don't know what you're talking about.
I love it. Sorry, anyway, I didn't cut you off. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that because I found that hilarious. Anyway, Cody Runnels came out. The pop was insane. Kevin, I assume you watched this live. If not, you've probably seen the replay a bunch since. What were your brutally honest thoughts? Walk us through this one as the Elite Heat listeners.
So I was doing homework in the middle of the Bianca Belair Becky Lynch match, and I just happened to walk out into the living room to get like water or something. I was like, oh, Seth Rollins is out there. Okay, Seth Rollins was in the ring like doing his promo, like laughing, whatever the hell he does. And I was like, okay, I gotta stop and sit. I gotta stop what I'm doing, sit and watch this. I gotta see who this is. And I like the way they did it. They built up the anticipation. The lights went out. They made you wait. They really made you wait. The lights went out for a few, maybe 30 seconds or a minute. And then that wrestling has more than one royal family. And that was it. Yeah. And you knew it was going to go crazy. You got 100,000 people in the AT&T Stadium going crazy, Maggle. They were
77,000 plus they were 23.
They were going banana. Okay, 77,000 people going banana for Cody Runnels. He's out there. He's soaking in the moment. He's got his tattoo directly into the hard camera, pal. You're just looking right at his tattoo. looking right at it. He's like,
Uh,
he looked like a star. I mean, come on, he looked like a star. He wants to be famous. Clearly, I mean, he's doing like B-level reality TV shows with Snoop Dogg. The guy wants to be famous. Tony Khan cannot make him famous. He came back to WWE and they made him a bigger star in 30 seconds of an entrance than Tony Khan did in 3 years. So, I mean, come on. You can't deny the facts. Cody Rhodes, he's going to be a massive star now. This is not 2016. This is not 2015 where you have Stardust running wild doing backstage skits with R-Truth. Cody Rhodes came in, beat Kobe Lopez in a one-on-one match in the middle of the card, which is where he belongs, beat him, and he's not looking back. He's going to go in. He's going to challenge Roman Reigns for the unified, universal WWE super heavyweight world championship of the world at WrestleMania Backlash. It's going to be Cody versus Roman Reigns. You're hearing this now. Mark my words. We all know it's going to happen. It's the worst kept secret in wrestling, pal. Maybe Cody Runnels will be the guy that will dethrone Roman Reigns. I can see it. I'm going to make a bold prediction to say that he does dethrone Joe Anoa'i. Cody Runnels is going to dethrone Joe Anoa'i. I'm calling it here right now. He's a star, bro. He's a star. Next thing you know, he's going to be doing C-level movies, straight to DVD movies with Mike the Miz Mizanin, and then eventually he's going to work his way up and he's going to go to Hollywood, pal. We're going to see Cody Runnels. He's going to be starring in an HBO primetime television series or something. All right, I'm done. You interpret how much of that you think I was being serious. I'll leave that up to the audience to interpret that.
First off, I don't want to see Cody Rhodes in 12 rounds 5 or the Marine 6. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Anyway.
Bro, Cody Runnels is going to be in the Game of Thrones prequel, bro. Based on this one entrance, bro. He transcended the business, bro. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin did in 1998.
I'm thinking Jay Rants on Twitter spamming in full caps. Just Cody's in mid-corner. I don't care. Just.
Oh man.
Wow. Yeah, chat. Do with that what you will. That's Kevin in his absolute bag right there. Nonetheless, this entrance, this moment, really sick. My favorite part of this was Wrestling Twitter having a literal breakdown. Wrestling Twitter just exploded. It was honestly hilarious. You got the picture, which it's made the rounds on Twitter from I think WWE on BT, I believe, saying Cody Rhodes is WWE, and so it's like just the AW, their all elite graphic just ripped off for WWE.
That's great.
That was hilarious. That was so funny. But nah, bro, Cody Rhodes he's in the E, pal. He's made the move. He's jumped ship. Who's next? MJF? Maybe Daniel Bryan again? Maybe John Moxley? I mean,
yeah, I think Moxley and MJF are the two surefires. 100%. Yeah.
Kevin, the damn wall's busted. For years, from 2019 through until really the beginning of this year, no one would dare venture from the evil A to Tony Khan back to the evil E. Someone's done it now, pal. Someone has negotiated from Tony Khan back to the evil Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the man who forced Triple H to have a cardiac event. Okay, that man now has the services of Cody Rhodes. And Kevin, I'm quite frankly, I am sickened that Cody Rhodes have turned his back on All Elite Wrestling. Kevin, Tony Khan gave Cody Rhodes 3 TNT championship reigns for this business. And how does he repay him? By jumping ship, by taking his ball and going to WWE. By going and having a match in front of 77,000 people in AT&T Stadium, in front of millions and millions watching around the world at home on their sofas and in their lounge rooms, in front of the Garcia family, watching this, not knowing what the hell was happening. This is why Cody Rhodes left AEW, pal. You think the Garcia family's watching Revolution? No, they don't give a damn. They watch WrestleMania. They watch WWE.
Oh man, you're absolutely right, Ishan. Bill loved the show, and so did the girl he's talking to.
I can't stand Bill. Bill's a dickhead. Anyway,
bro,
continue.
Bill popped hard for Cody's entrance, bro. Bill popped hard. Look at that smile. That smile hasn't left his face since Cody came out.
Bro, Bill's been popping pills. That's why he's been popping. Like, look at his face, bro. Anyway, continue.
Oh yeah, the Garcia family does not watch Revolution. That might be the quote of the night. Somebody
bro,
clip that.
Can you picture the Garcia family all sitting down watching the dog collar match? Like,
I think we may have spoken about this before, but I watched an AEW pay-per-view with my parents. I don't recall which one it was. I think it was Double or Nothing. I think the first one in 2019. And my dad has some comments about some of the performers.
Let's not even pass this to the 10-foot pole. No.
Yeah, I can't repeat what he said. Even if I wanted to. I mean, I could. You guys wouldn't understand it. I could say what he said, but nobody would understand what he said. But I'm not gonna say it anyway. So, but let's just say that my parents were not big fans of Double or Nothing 2019. We'll leave it at that.
Anyway, with that said, Kevin, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, they had a 20-minute great match at WrestleMania for these fans, and honestly,
for these fans,
really enjoyable. They carried on the momentum from obviously Becky and Belair. This was the next match up, Cody and Rollins. Really good first opponent back. Seth Rollins, he's just really good at what he does, Kevin. I'm not going to say, he's the best wrestler in this, or he's the great. He's really good at what he does. When he retires, and eventually when he becomes part-time, there'll be a big thing of, we miss Seth Rollins. He was so good. How about we appreciate stuff like tonight, where he has such a great performance at WrestleMania? Last year, Seth Rollins carried a match versus Cesaro. This year, he had the match against Cody Rhodes, which Rollins did really well in. His selling was great. Cody showed up. They're doing all the different Cody moves. They teased Stardust, pal. They teased Stardust. Bizarre. Remember, Kevin, on Monday Night Raw, back 6-7 years ago, when Cody Rhodes dressed as Stardust, bizarre, threw a Christmas present at Titus O'Neil, Kevin. He threw a Christmas present at Titus O'Neil.
Oh, man, how far we've come from those days. Now Cody Runnels is going to be starring in the Game of Thrones prequel, thanks to WWE, pal. Yes, my dad said something very edgy, Destructor. Yes, it was very edgy.
Destructor, his dad is an edgelord, pal.
Yeah.
But unlike you, Destructor, his dad doesn't make thumbnails featuring Ali dressed as a terrorist. Anyway.
Oh, man, if my dad was on wrestling Twitter, he'd be canceled within a day.
Bro, Destructor, Kevin's dad, pure edgelord, pal. You heard it here first.
Absolutely. Okay, so yes, to touch on something you said about Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is great at what he does. Absolutely. I think he's entering the Shawn Michaels Triple H territory where he could just have a good match with damn near anybody.
Yeah.
The problem is there's no good characters for him to put him with. Like, you can't just do like a Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle type match with Seth Rollins because there's no Kurt Angle to match his Shawn Michaels right now. Maybe Gabe Steveson will be that guy at some point. Maybe.
Gabe, see, yeah,
maybe.
And maybe Braun Breaker, pal.
Maybe.
Seems like he's going to the main roster after he lost for a second time to Dolph Ziggler. Real quick, Stand and Deliver was a good show, objectively, but the fact that Dolph Ziggler's NXT champion, I still don't love that. I really don't. I get it. He's there to make the next upcoming young star look great by beating him, but he's 42 and been employed for 19 years. Is that the face of NXT, Kevin? Really? As the Miz would say, really? When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Really? Bruh. Honestly.
Be careful doing that pose, pal. Careful with that one.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to deep throat the Red Yeti, but still, come on. Come on.
To deviate again. So you have Seth Rollins, who he had a good match with Cody. It was a show stealer of a match. You could argue that was match of the night. We'll pick our match of the night at the end, but that's in the argument. It's in the top 3. Nothing really edgy could be said about this one from my father. It's a pretty straightforward, basic wrestling match. We had he did like 3 crossroads in a row.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins' outfit may have ruffled some feathers.
Oh, drama.
Maybe amongst some certain generations of viewers, but Seth Rollins, though, nevertheless, he proved again why he's one of the best. He put over Cody Runnels, pal, for this business. Seth Rollins put over Cody Runnels so Cody Runnels could go on and star in the prequel for Game of Thrones. So Seth Rollins sacrificed for the greater good. Cody Runnels is here. He's back. He's in the fold. He's a full-time performer, I assume, unless he got unless he got a Brock Lesnar deal where he's making $10 million and shows up 3 times a year, which I highly doubt. But Cody Runnels will probably be on Raw on Monday. He'll be on WrestleMania, or whatever they're going to call it. I have nothing else to say about this match. But anything else you want to add?
Wait, so WrestleMania, Raw, WrestleMania? Is that what we're calling it now?
Yeah, or Raw, WrestleMania, Raw. I don't know. It's gonna. I don't know what they're gonna top their goofy names. Because last week was WrestleMania Raw, right? So last week was WrestleMania Raw. So this week has to be like WrestleMania Raw or post WrestleMania Raw. I don't know what they're gonna call this show.
WrestleMania Raw. That's hilarious.
We have Cody Runnels coming out to kick off WrestleMania Raw. He's gonna be like, "Welcome to Monday Night Raw."
Tony Khan only wouldn't offer me $2 million a year. I wanted 3. Now I'm here on WrestleMania Raw with my red microphone on Vince McMahon's show. The same Vince McMahon who caused Paul Levesque a cardiac event.
Oh my god. He's gonna come out and he's gonna mention Joey Janela and like Sean Spears, and he's gonna just name drop all these guys. He's gonna be like, "Oh, QT Marshall prepared me for this moment against Seth Rollins."
He'll do like a shoot promo on like AEW and how like backstage one time in 2020, Tony Khan went up to Brian Cage and said, "Brian, I'm willing to give you the AEW World Championship as long as we're allowed to bring in a wellness policy." And then Brian Cage was like, "I'm not letting you test me, Tony. I'm not doing that. Just shove your wellness policy or I don't shine, pal." Like, unless some dirt comes to the table from Cody Rhodes, we need drama. We need action. Kevin, Cody needs to give us content in WWE about AEW that you can make the dark truth videos about, that you can make the scathing reality of Tony Khan, like videos like that, pal.
Oh man, that's oh god, I'm ready, pal. I can't wait to make the behind the scenes, the brutal behind the scenes of AEW, and the behind the scenes look at Tony Khan's cocaine addiction. I can't wait to make those videos, pal. But yeah, I mean, not cocaine addiction. I'm sorry, I misspoke. He's addicted to money, pal, and addicted to being the best and putting on the best show. Nevertheless, Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey took place. That was the next match, the co-main event of the night, pal. Yeah. Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. This was the upset of the night. I was looking at betting odds like an hour before the show went live, and Charlotte Flair was plus 600. Ronda Rousey was a minus 1,000 favorite. So meaning you have to bet $1,000 to win 100 on Ronda Rousey.
Wow. I
could have made some money if I picked Charlotte Flair. I could have put 10 down on Charlotte Flair, won me some money real quick. But hey, what can I say, pal?
Kevin, you should, the moment Michael Cole said Charlotte Flair is on track to become the greatest of all time, the moment Michael Cole said that, you should have bet your house on it. You should have put all the chips in the table. You should have gone double or nothing, put them all in the middle of the table, and won big, pal.
I should have went all in, right?
Bro, you should have gone all in. You should have gone Kevin all out and just put it all out there. Okay? Come on.
Oh, God, I love that. Yeah. It's great that Cody Runnels came up with the name All In, pal, and now it's being stolen from him. his legacy at AEW has been stolen by the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. But yeah, nevertheless, Charlotte Flair, upset of the night. I was pretty shocked. Honestly, I did not see this coming. What about you?
I mean, I thought Ronda would win, but Kevin, it's just Charlotte Flair. Are you surprised? Question mark?
Not really. I'm more surprised that Ronda Rousey lost than I am that Charlotte won. You could have told me that Charlotte would win, and I would believe it. But you're going to tell me that Ronda Rousey is going to come back and get paid like $20 million to lose? I don't know. I didn't see it coming. I really didn't.
Kevin, this is the same Charlotte Flair who's the golden goose for Vince McMahon, the same guy who forced Triple H to have a cardiac event. Okay. So I need to keep mentioning that because that's the worst take of 2021 and 2022 by far. Anyway, nonetheless, Kevin, this main event, if I told you I watched the match, I'd be lying. I spent this match making my lunch because it was about 1 o'clock over in Australia. So I was busy making some noodles, getting some toast, some mince. I was doing my lunch. So I wasn't really watching this. I came back into the room. I saw the last couple of minutes. Ronda Rousey was all mad afterwards because she got screwed out of the match. And Charlotte Flair's like holding up the title in the old way, being like, ha, 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 you lost. And it's like, okay. They're going to rematch at WrestleMania, backlash, I assume. So, yeah.
Yeah, Tokyo says Charlotte lays down for nobody. Not even Andrade, pal. Oh, man.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, pal.
I had to say that.
I'm just gonna put the strap on for that one. Oh, shit, that's poor timing. That's
the
poor
same
timing.
man who put over Connor the Crusher for this business. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You're evil. No. It was for ratings, pal. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh god.
I can't breathe.
Oh, this business, pal. Oh god.
I just noticed too that you said it's time to get the strap. That was an appropriate comment. Pal.
Yeah, that's why I said that. I'm like, the timing was poor. Oh well. We'll transition from Connor the Crusher to This is why we started the late hate, pal. We started it for this. Right.
I'm done. I don't know. How can we follow that up?
Vince McMahon rewarded Paul Levesque for giving Conor the Crusher that moment with a cardiac event. That's what happened now.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We're going to hell for this one.
Oh, that's amazing. That is wow.
We're going to hell for this one. Oh
that's
man.
Horrible.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Whew. Whew. Collect myself. Oh god.
Regrouping. What were your honest thoughts on kind of the moves and really the flow of the Charlotte and Ronda match? I thought from a psychology and storytelling perspective, it was really crisp, and the fluctuations of the match was really good. I thought the momentum swings were played out well, move execution crisp and on point. All around, I thought 3.25 stars out of 5, maybe 3.5 if you're watching it high. So what did you think?
Oh my god, Destructor's wilding out with these comments, man. Oh my god.
I'm not even reacting to that one. That one's horrendous.
Oh man.
Oh,
Jesus. Whew. Oh my god.
Breathe.
So,
yeah.
Ronda Rousey is Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a crisp display of work rate, a technical masterpiece. If this match took place in Tokyo, it would have got 7.5 stars. It's better than Omega Okada 3.
Did you watch the match?
No.
You didn't watch it, did you? I was gonna say, I don't think you watched this match. I didn't.
No. I was doing homework. I glanced at it periodically. I glanced at it and I was like, oh, Charlotte won. Okay. All right. Charlotte won. Like, okay, Charlotte won. LOL. Vince is in the back, like, oh, that's my queen. Oh, pose with that title, damn it. Like, Ric Flair. I think Ric Flair was out there to hold the rope for his lovely daughter. How many times are we going to see that story? Rinse, wash, repeat. Ric Flair loves his daughter, bro. This is just like John Cena loving cancer patients, bro. Ric Flair loves his daughter, pal.
I thought the storyline was that Ric Flair loved Lacey Evans.
Oh,
what happened to that?
I don't know. I guess Lacey Evans' husband probably didn't like that.
Yeah, Lacey Evans got shoot pregnant with a different man, and the storyline fell apart. I guess that's what happened.
Yeah, she got shoot pregnant, pal.
Yeah, she got shoot pregnant. She got legitimately pregnant instead of fake pregnant.
Lacey Evans has no problem laying down for her husband.
No comment. I don't feel like going on cringe wrestling takes right about now. I'm good with my life. I've been there, done that. Kevin, I don't need Twitter in my life.
Charlotte Flair won with a big boot, for real.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, what is she, prime Kevin Nash, pal?
No, I think the whole thing was that Ronda had a foot in the rope, or like that's some kind of thing where Ronda got screwed or she didn't lose clean because Ronda was like mad after the match. So they're going to do a rematch at WrestleMania, backlash, probably a rematch at WrestleMania, payback, maybe a no holds barred 3 stages of hell war, a Money in the Bank. Maybe they'll do a showdown in the Tokyo Dome in July in Dominion Hall at Kuru-Karen Hall. Maybe we'll get Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey then. Maybe we'll get Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey 6 inside of a steel cage in a UFC cage fight for SummerSlam.
That would be great.
Tennessee, we'll have Ronda Rousey hitting shoot MMA elbow strikes to Charlotte, winning her 4th women's championship. Charlotte will win her 15th. Kevin, aren't you excited?
I would love to see them have a shoot MMA rules fight. I would pay top dollar for that, pal.
Would you pay to see a New Japan death match between Charlotte and Ronda Rousey in Kuru-Karen Hall?
Oh, I would subscribe to njpwworld.com right now. If they announce that. I'd be running to the screen faster than Dave Meltzer runs for the lotion after Omega and Okada, bro.
That's like a 65-year-old man. Anyway. Wow. Nah. So the main conclusion here: Charlotte's still the champion. The new line is, Charlotte becoming the greatest of all time. So that seems like what we're going to hear for the next year or two. Charlotte is the greatest of all time. Charlotte's becoming the greatest of all time. So make that a new buzzword. If you're watching SmackDown or you're watching Raw, listen out for the greatest of all time with Charlotte Flair's name attached to it. So yeah, fun.
Look at this comment. None of you guys seem like you have the adrenaline in your soul to do this. Time to put over the new stars, kiddos.
If we're going to have adrenaline in our souls, what do you think about lefty and righty then?
Yeah, right.
Was there adrenaline? I mean, whatever.
That's funny.
Okay,
so where are we? Okay, let's talk main event. Because Charlotte won, lol. Charlotte will be on Raw. I'm the queen. I won another title. I'm Ric Flair's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I won another title. I'm better than Becky Lynch. And that's that I just recited Charlotte Flair's promos for the next 6.5 months.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna lose the title and say, I'm still the queen. I'm still better than you. I'm still a 10-time champion. I'm still Ric Flair's daughter.
Yeah, I mean, you essentially just gave away 2 months of the build to this match just in that one sentence. But you did forget one thing. Charlotte's big line for Ronda Rousey: "Go home and have another kid, Ronda."
Yeah, there you go. Go have another kid, Ronda.
That's the Kevin. When I heard that for the first time on the first SmackDown in February 2022, Kevin, I was getting the chips, the popcorn, the whipped cream, the dips, the hummus sauce. I was getting nachos, Doritos, bags of salad. Kevin, I was getting excited for this night, WrestleMania 38, night one, Charlotte and Ronda. This match, Kevin, I can see by looking at your face right now, you were buzzing, you were amped. You couldn't wait for this match. Kevin, your schoolwork had to wait because Charlotte Flair was making her entrance in AT&T Stadium for this business, for Vincent K. McMahon, the same man who made Paul Levesque have a cardiac event.
Oh my God. That gets me every time.
It's so bad. It's horrible. Anyway.
Yeah, so Charlotte Flair, she's champion, nice. Ronda Rousey's probably gonna. How much money do you want to bet that Ronda Rousey comes out on WrestleMania Raw tomorrow night or in 2 nights, and she beats up a referee and gets suspended? You want to put like $20 on that?
Remember that? Yeah, wow. When you did your Ms. and Mrs. review, and you were like, really quick review of Raw that 1.5 million people watched. Charlotte beat up a referee. Now let's move on to Ms. and Mrs.
Oh, got it. I guess I should review Ms. and Mrs. again, right, for nostalgia's sake this year. But no, yeah, Ronda Rousey's gonna come out, beat up a referee, and talk about how she's the top of the mountain and whatever. So yeah, the main event time. Mm-hmm. Actually, before we get to the main event, we need to address this awkward segment where Stephanie McMahon waltzes out to the ring, or not the ring, waltzes out to the stage. My parents are like, "Oh my God, it's Vince's daughter." Yeah. She looks so old. And I'm like, yeah, that's Stephanie. What is she doing here? I don't know. And then she comes out and she's like, I'm here to announce Gable Steveson as the future of wrestling. And then Gable Steveson like comes out, he's crying, he's hugging her. And like, what was the point of that? I don't want to say it was cringe, but it was just awkward.
It was just weird. Because like when Stephanie, because this was like, I think this was after the Logan Paul match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was.
This was just before the Becky and Belair thing. So at this point, you've got 77,000 people in this stadium. They've just watched The Miz turn face or heel, whatever, on Logan Paul. Now Stephanie McMahon comes out. Like, I heard like 5 people catcall Stephanie McMahon in the audience and like whistle at her, which I was like, oh God, she's literally like 52. Anyway. So that happened. I was like, okay, we've got, very progressive fans in the audience at WrestleMania and AT&T Stadium, pal. And then you go from there, Kevin, and she's just like, WrestleMania is a stupendous event. Thank you, fans. Thank you for being at WrestleMania. And Kevin, by this point, I assume probably the Garcia family's wanting to leave, probably wanting to go get a snack. They probably stopped caring.
You're pretty correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And then as you say, she goes, and introducing Gable Steveson. And Gable comes out and is like, yay, hey, thank you guys. Yeah, hey, what's up? What's up, Dallas? Hey, I'm here.
Like, I've never seen anything like this. Like the equivalent only equivalent I could possibly think of to compare this to would be if at WrestleMania 17, like right before Rock and Austin took place, Vincent Kennedy McMahon waltzes out to the top of the stage and is like, all right, here's the next big thing, Brock Lesnar. Like that's like the only equivalent I could think of. I don't know. It was just so weird. Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean that's really a good way of putting it, as well. It's like they just do that, just randomly, yeah. Or like Linda McMahon comes out WrestleMania 17 she rolls out in the wheelchair and goes, the next big thing is Brock Lesnar, and then Brock comes out just bouncing around. Like,
yeah, I'm happy to be here, Linda. Thank you.
Yeah, like, is this gonna be Gable Stevenson's thing? He's happy to be here. Like he's just living his dream. He wants to put on a great match.
He's got that NIL deal with WWE, pal. He's an officially sponsored college athlete, bro.
Like, hopefully they make Gable and Bron Breakker seem like legitimately cool powerhouses who are going to like kill you. Like, hopefully they make them seem really cool. Because Kevin, I don't want to see 2 years of Gable Steveson going and wrestling a match out of honor against Ricochet or Finn Balor in the second hour of Monday Night Raw. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Gable Steveson rolling around doing Puro kicks with Fergal Devitt at 44. I don't want to see that. I don't know.
Euro kicks. Oh man. All right, so there's that. Gable Steveson, I'm not even suggesting that his career is finished or anything like that, but he's got a long way to go. He's going to be fine. He'll be a star, but it was just an odd way to book him. Or not book him, just to present him. It was just odd.
We went over this before. Okay, Triple H did do what's best for business by putting over Conor the Crusher. We went over this, Destructor.
Oh, man. The NIL deal means he's next in line for Ziggler, pal. My God, if Gable Steveson would have powerbombed Stephanie McMahon off the stage, I mean, yeah, that would have got my parents talking for sure. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that would have got everybody talking.
I wish. Well, could you imagine the ratings? TMZ would be like Gable Steveson assaults, Boss's daughter on live WrestleMania broadcast.
No, the highlight would be this: collegiate athlete assaults Vince McMahon's daughter at WrestleMania. I guess like the lead is like top wrestling star in the end of the NCAA just beat up Stephanie McMahon. It's like that would be wild. I'd love to see it. All right, moving on. This has gone off the rails. Kevin, we move on to the main event. Kevin, yes, sir.
Kevin, if you told either of us a year ago, guess the WrestleMania 38 Night 1 main event, I probably would have said Charlotte Flair versus Bayley or something. But no, Kevin. In reality, we had Kevin Steen, now Kevin Owens, against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kevin, what were your thoughts?
I knew that I knew he was gonna wrestle once he came out with the knee pads on or the knee braces on. I was like, okay, he's coming out in his gear. This is classic vintage Stone Cold there, John. He had the Austin 316 shirt on. He looked like a badass. He dyed his beard. His physique what it is for a 60-year-old man. But I think I thought it was just phenomenal. I loved it. I really did. Like, I can't say anything bad about it. The promo leading up to it was fantastic, where you got the Kevin Owens and Stone Cold having a war of words. Stone Cold playing all the hits, doing the what chants, calling Kevin Owens a dumb son of a bitch. Like, just playing all the classic Stone Cold bits that, like, it was like, what's a good way? Like, what's a good equivalent I could say? It's like Pink Floyd coming out at a festival, like as a surprise guest and playing like 10 of their biggest hits, something like that, something along that nature. It was perfect. It was as perfect as it could go. And then after the War of Words, when they actually wrestled, the whole time I'm like, this is a star-making performance for Kevin Owens. This is the highlight of Kevin Owens' career. I don't think he's going to top this. I don't see it. This is bigger than him winning the title when Triple H handed him the belt. Oh. This is bigger than when he beat Rollins a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, he main evented WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, the kid in him was probably like, oh my God, Stone Cold Steve Austin just called me a son of a bitch. Like I couldn't imagine what that felt like for him,
Kevin, to think 3 months ago, people were up in arms saying he must go to AEW and have a year-long love storyline with the Young Bucks and Adam Cole.
Long-term storytelling, bro.
Oh, but the Mount Rushmore or whatever they call it in Ring of Honor, they could have reunited and had matches on being the elite. Like, Kevin, this was so well done. As far as a farewell type match for a guy, fair enough. Stone Cold's style, he doesn't need to really bump around to do what he does. And this match showcased it perfectly. It was a no-holds-barred match. Went for, 11, 12 minutes? They got decent time.
14 minutes, actually.
14? Sheesh.
Yeah.
I had a feeling what they do is just, not a Goldberg match, because obviously not that pace, but Austin hits a stunner, Owens kicks out, Owens hits a stunner, Austin kicks out, mud hole stomping, Owens hits another signature, Austin kicks out, Austin hits a stunner again and wins. They could have done something like that and it probably would have been fine. Would have got the similar pop, but the way they did this, Austin played all the hits, as you would say. They drove the golf cart up the stage, as Owens called it. They had the suplex spot on the on the aisleway. They did a bunch of stuff. They went around ringside. They got beers involved. They had Owens taking most of the bumps, as he should, because he's the full-time wrestler here, and Austin's a 58-year-old man. Like, Kevin, this was so well done. I can't praise how they did this enough. It was just excellent for a farewell.
Yeah, I mean, the spot on the concrete where Stone Cold took the suplex, that was scary. That was like, I was like a little nervous watching that. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
like he took a suplex on the concrete. That's wild. But other than that, there was nothing really that made me go gasp. Other than that one, that was like, I couldn't believe he did it. I thought it was a little odd in the beginning when he took Owens down in the corner and he was like just slow kicking him and getting the crowd to count. I was like, I was thinking, like, is he kind of nervous? Like, is he like, did something happen? Did he get injured? Or does he think he can't do the mud hole spot? Like, I was like, yo, what is going on? And then he did the mud hole spot. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Yeah. Everything's okay, you know? But I was like, oh no. Like, it had disaster written on it for a couple seconds there. Like, because that was weird. You didn't think that was weird when he did like 7 or 8 kicks and the crowd was chanting. And I was like, oh no, this is going to go badly. But
I mean, I didn't think it would go badly. I was a bit like, this is kind of awkward. It did because you're used to, everyone who's watched an Austin match is used to the guy being sat in the corner and Austin just starts stomping just like, furiously. And he was just going, it was like slow kicking. And it's like, well, what's going on? And then eventually he just got to about 7 or 8 and just unloaded on him, which is good. That was entertaining. And they did that in the other corner as well, like a minute later. And it just, Kevin, it worked. It worked for a farewell. It's as Austin said in the promo, first match ever was in Dallas, Texas. Last match ever in Dallas, Texas. So, boom.
Yeah, kudos to him. Hell of a career. This is the Michael Jordan of professional wrestling. It's the guy that, this guy is the main reason why we're even talking about WWE right now.
Yeah.
He's in large part responsible for where WWE is financially, culturally, just in terms of like so many things. It's all traces back to Stone Cold and the Austin McMahon rivalry. He deserved this send-off. Yeah. Would it have been nice to see 6 years ago when he was a little bit younger and he could have faced a guy like Randy Orton or John Cena in a more high-profile match? But at the same time, this did a lot for Kevin Owens. People that didn't know Kevin Owens before are going to know him now. At the end of the day, Kevin Owens, though, he still looks like another guy next door. So he's not really going to be like, I'm not saying Kevin Owens is going to be this transcendent mainstream star because he's just not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I do think he was the perfect opponent for Stone Cold. I don't think they could have booked a better opponent for him. I know some people were saying, oh, why didn't he face McIntyre or Bobby Lashley? I'm like, well, you want to put him in the ring with Bobby Lashley? Like that doesn't seem smart.
Why?
Right.
Why?
You're right. Why? And you're gonna put him in the ring with McIntyre, you're gonna put him in the ring with a freak of nature, a guy like a 6'7" Scottish man who just looks like he could kill him. You're gonna like, I don't know. It just wouldn't have made a lot of sense.
I think it worked well because like Owens is obviously a seasoned, safe worker, to use the wrestling terms, and he can do the mic work stuff before the match, really build the heat well. Like I really like how they did that because obviously when they're doing the KO show portion of this, Owens does most of the talking, Austin does the entrance, he comes out, the glass shatters, everyone pops. That was really cool. Austin laps it up for like 2-3 minutes. He comes down, he drives down the ring. They get in the ring. Kevin Owens talks a bit to Austin. Austin kind of like snaps and just like, for lack of a better term, he calls Owens like a bum and just like he's not worth facing, that type of thing. He trashes Owens for a bit. Owens then slanders Texas and he delivers it really well. It wasn't just like the stuff we saw on Raw where it was like, Texas is stupid. Texas is bad. It was actually like kind of a bit more witty. It was delivered well. It was entertaining. And then Austin just accepted the match. Kevin, as I said about 5 times, it worked. All of it worked, I'd say.
Yeah, picture perfect. A picture perfect ending for night 1 of WrestleMania. Night 2, you're gonna end it with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, the 2 full-time guys that are gonna be gonna be around going forward. The 2 faces of the company. Night 1, why not end it with some nostalgia? The fact that it was in Dallas, Texas. And Stone Cold, I don't know if he's ever wrestled in front of a crowd that large. I think that might have been the first time because WWE wasn't really doing stadium shows when Stone Cold was in his prime. So I don't know if he's ever been in front of a crowd that large.
Because Mania 17 was 70K.
So okay, that's still pretty.
This was 77, so it would be the biggest crowd. Because he wrestled WrestleMania 18 against Scott Hall, rest in peace, but it wasn't 77,000 there in the Skydome. It was like 66. So
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that Houston at 17. I thought it was like 40,000, 50,000, but no, that's still pretty big.
Oh, I can fact check it, but yeah, go on.
I don't know. I'm sure it was 70,000 because it wasn't a dome, But I also forget that it was only 77,000. I forget that they didn't actually pack out 100,000 for this one. But still, nevertheless, he's in his hometown. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Michael Jordan of professional wrestling. Like I said, it worked so well. It could have gone bad. I'm glad it didn't. There was a high level of risk. I think they did the best to mediate those risks again by putting in a safe performer with Kevin Owens in there, a guy that could, like you said, sell the match. He sold the match for like 2 months leading up to the show. Some of the stuff was corny, like him coming out with a cowboy hat on Raw. You kind of went over that too. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they could have gone with a better ending. Like what else could have ended this show? Like you're gonna have Charlotte Flair. Charlotte wins, LOL. That's going to end the show. Like that would have pissed people off,
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes.
I think the way they did it ended up working well. Like obviously, it's a bit weird. Like the KO show with Steve Austin is going to main event, or for like 2 months, just Kevin Owens trashing Texas. Like the build up wasn't great. Like being fair, but then you get to like the night itself with this segment and how they did it. With Steve Austin being like, if you want to see me whoop this man's ass, give me a hell yeah. And then the crowd's like erupting and I need a louder one, hell yeah. And then the crowd's just going ballistic. And then Austin's like, looking around, the suspense is building. Will Austin wrestle Kevin? Will he beat up Kevin Owens in an actual match? And then they eventually do it. So yeah, it worked. It was a fun, safe match. It's one that I'll probably go back and watch because it was 10 odd minutes. Crowd was engaged the whole time. Kevin Owens main event at WrestleMania before CM Punk. That's another guy on the list you wouldn't have expected. So, yeah, love to see it.
Wow. Well, what are your thoughts on this match from a perspective, like as someone who never saw Stone Cold wrestle live?
I really liked it because obviously, Steve Austin's last ever match, I was 3 weeks old when he wrestled his last match in 2003. So now, 19 years later, getting to see him wrestle live. Yes, it's not Steve Austin in his absolute prime versus The Rock. I wasn't around for that, okay? But watching this, seeing him play the hits, 77,000 people going ballistic, the crowd, the reception Austin got was unreal. I think that's one thing we can't pass up on. How loud this crowd was. It really does go to show you wrestlers today who can barely get a reaction and can't do anything to get people to care. And Stone Cold, the Michael Jordan of WWE, pal.
But you got Cody Rhodes. His pop was pretty similar to Stone Cold's. It wasn't Stone Cold.
Cody Rhodes is the phony goat. He's not the goat.
He'll nobody will ever get a Stone Cold pop, pal. They call it the Road Warrior pop. They should call it a Stone Cold pop now because it's just Stone Cold. He gets the biggest crowd reactions ever, bigger than Hogan, bigger than Rock, bigger than Cena. And Cena's Cena like. Yeah, especially Hogan. It's like the mix of the boos and cheers for Cena is insane. Like being there in person, experiencing it live. Never experienced a Stone Cold pop, but I've experienced Cena. I've experienced Undertaker. Triple H, guys like that, and I want to experience Stone Cold. I wish I would have gone to this WrestleMania. That would have been incredible.
What's the Taker one like? Because given his entrance takes like 15 minutes to do, it's like a sustained cheer.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. It's just people being like, "Oh my god, this is so cool."
Yeah.
And just everybody screaming and phones out. Yeah, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Undertaker's entrance is insane. It's not. I've never experienced anything like it. It's definitely. I'm privileged to say that I've seen it at 2 WrestleManias, so that's incredible. But yeah, I guess we can kind of move on. I guess to just overall thoughts, or do you want to anything else you want to say about Stone Cold and Kevin Owens?
I mentioned the little Hall of Fame segment they did where they had Undertaker come out. I thought Taker doing like one final WrestleMania entrance was just like the bow on top of what's been, in totality, a beautifully done send-off for Taker. Going back to the Last Ride documentary back in 2020, the Boneyard match, to see it all come together from the 30th anniversary celebration at the Survivor Series show, 2021, Undertaker's doing like interviews and stuff now. 2022, he's in the Hall of Fame. They did that, which went for like a while. That Hall of Fame induction for Undertaker, it was incredible. And now seeing Undertaker's final entrance was sick. So yeah, there was that. What were your thoughts on that, Kevin? Just take again another entrance at Mania? Why the hell not?
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. I got a couple things to say about the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
First one, Scott Steiner on a live mic on WWE television. Never thought I'd see it. Never thought I would ever see it again. That was something. He's like a Jim Cornette levels of like just wild card, you know. But no, Undertaker. I just had to throw that out there. But no, Undertaker's entrance tonight or last night, I guess, was incredible. It was really cool to see. The greatest send off for any wrestler. I think you can't even really overstate that. You know,
yeah.
He's a guy. I don't want to say he's Vince McMahon's right hand man, but he's been with WWE since he started there in 1990. Never left. Never any drama. Never any like rumors of him jumping to WCW. Never any rumors of him sleeping with guys' wives or being like, no, I'm not doing that match. No, I'm not putting that guy over. No, I'm not working with this guy. No, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not doing that. Nothing like that. Just the consummate pro. And you could tell Vince McMahon really loves him. The induction speech and ceremony was very emotional. It was just really kind of settled in my childhood and a lot of people's childhoods that watch wrestling. It's kind of over. You know, Mr. McMahon is on the back nine of life. He's old. Undertaker's done. Triple H retired. Undertaker and Triple H retired within like a year of each other. Batista retired recently. John Cena's Hollywood's probably going to force him to retire. Yeah. CM Punk is out there having great matches in AEW, so he's not really on my radar.
Yeah, The Rock maybe has one more match to go, which they might set up tomorrow night, but even then, he might not even wrestle next year, The Rock.
Yeah, it's kind of over. Like, that's truly the end of an era. You know, Shawn Michaels looks like Trevor from GTA. Shawn Michaels just looks like a mess. Karma's bitten him. You know, the Chris Jericho, I don't even know what to say about Jericho at this point. He's still around, but he's kind of like the last one at this stage. You know, he's the last one of that era.
Yeah, Kurt Angle's well and truly retired with neck issues, and Brock Lesnar's still here, which is cool.
Right. Brock,
I mean, Randy Orton's still going, but I don't know. I get what you're saying. Like, it's just these heroes of your childhood and many people's childhoods are just going one by one.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, Randy Orton, he's going to be around for a while, which is nice, but I don't know. I mean, it was just weird. It was just weird to see. I felt like I was just getting old. I'm like, oh man, I'm getting old now.
Yeah.
You know, that Undertaker's retiring.
You mentioned Stone Cold being like the MJ of WWE. Like, if I'd probably compare the Undertaker, I'd probably say he'd be like the Kobe Bryant, you'd say. Just that kind of unanimously loved figure. You know, 20 straight years for Kobe and 30 straight for Taker in one place. You know, like
kind of like a Tim Duncan, you know.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. But just a constant of excellence. Duncan's actually a really good one. Didn't think of it. Good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best wrestlers ever, if not the best in a lot of people's minds. A lot of people say Taker's the best to ever do it, and it's really tough to dispute. The fact that he said never say never at the end of his speech has a lot of people worried. Who knows what the hell's going to happen? Like, are we going to see Stone Cold versus The Undertaker in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia?
Oh, no.
I just butchered that. But yeah, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. We're going to see that. We're going to see Stone Cold shoot punching Mark Calloway in the middle of the desert in Saudi Arabia while the prince watches. Like,
Can you imagine Vince McMahon trying to sell us that on WWE TV? Stone Cold versus Undertaker, one-on-one, Super Showdown 2022.
Yeah, that would be tough to see. Yeah.
Just the last ride. I'm like,
Oh
The
no.
final ever Undertaker match. I think we were told this like 3 times.
Facts. Facts. And then like what? Then you do what are they gonna do next? Stone Cold versus Goldberg.
Oh
Crown
no!
Jewel.
Goldberg jackhammers Steve Austin onto his neck. And
Oh.
it's like a fatal incident. Vince McMahon gets like a CTE lawsuit from like the Austin family.
Yeah, it's the incident's so bad it causes like a riot in the stadium, and the Saudi prince holds all the wrestlers hostage again.
Yeah, Zelina Vega starts like a union.
Queen Zelina, bro.
Bro, that's the women's tag team champion, Zelina Vega. Or maybe she's lost the belt to Rhea. I don't watch Raw, so I wouldn't know. Anyway.
I don't know. Yeah. So overall, thoughts on this show overall?
Overall, I'm gonna give the show 7.5 out of 10. I thought going in, I didn't care at all, which is classic of WWE. Like the first half an hour of this show, I'm like, this is WrestleMania. I feel nothing. Like this is bad. And then the show just went up, and then the excitement levels. You've got Becky and Bianca was sensational. That was great. You've got Logan Paul stuff was entertaining. Cody Rhodes, that was fairly shocking. At least seeing it actually play out was really sick. The match was great. And then you get to the big ending with Steve Austin and Owens. Overall, 7.5 to 8, anywhere in there. If you're giving the show like a 3 out of 10, you watch a different show. If you're giving this a 10 out of 10, you shouldn't be allowed to grade shows. Kevin, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10. That would be my rating. I think it could have been better. Definitely, you can say that about just about any wrestling show. Yeah, when you start a show with the Usos and Nakamura and Rick Boogs, like you instantly lose a point. Like that instantly, you start at 10 out of 10, you instantly are 9 out of 10 when you start with that.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I thought it was a good show. It just it's one that I probably won't rewatch in its totality, but I will go back and watch Cody's return, and I'll go back and watch the main event. Probably go back and watch the tag team match again with the Miz and Logan Paul and the Mysterios. So there's rewatchability there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then as far as match of the night, what do you think?
I'd probably say Cody and Rollins just because of the crowd. I'd say I wasn't like at the time I wasn't like critically watching them to see which one was better, but I'd say the women's match was really good. The Cody Rollins match was really good, but I think the Cody Rollins match the crowd was just more into. I felt like just because the shock of Cody being there, but at the same time, I mean, apples and oranges, whatever you want to pick. It's all good.
Yeah, I'd probably say Cody and Rollins probably be my match of the night. I want to say Austin and Owens, but I mean it wasn't anything spectacular. Yeah. That was the moment of the night by far was Austin wrestling and like the promo segment, just the whole thing, the nostalgia, the ending.
Yeah,
that was the moment of the night.
Yeah.
What about worst match of the night, pal?
Oh God,
Is it McIntyre versus Corbin? I think. I think it has to be.
I want to say the opener, if I'm being honest, just because how they had to just call an audible with the ending because Rick Boobs like literally ruptured his knee. Which I mean, as I said earlier on, praying for Rick or whatever his real name is. Hopefully that can be his he can recover as quick as possible. But that as a match, it felt like a SmackDown mid-card match and open WrestleMania. So
yeah, the Miz needs to plug him in with his ACL doctor because the Miz was back from his ACL like a month and a half after Zombies ate it. So,
bro, yeah, I mean that was a different type of medical injury. A zombie ate his ACL just to promote Dave Bautista's new movie.
Oh Jesus Christ Almighty!
Bro, Vince McMahon took money under the table from Batista to promote that movie.
Money under the table. Bro, Vince McMahon was handed a briefcase from Dave Batista's PR people.
Bro, you got Dave Batista just handing cash to Vince McMahon. Just giving him cash, bro.
Oh God, yeah. I think worst match of the night for me is McIntyre and Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I'm gonna say worst match was Usos versus Boogs and Nakamura. But I mean, it's whatever you want to say. Actually, I might say no. I won't say Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair, but just because how much spotlight that got for how little I cared, that could be up there as well.
Yeah, the fact. I mean, I'm just glad that didn't main event. Like, good God, if that would have main evented over Austin, yikes. Like that, yeah. But no, I mean, for me, McIntyre and Corbin, I have to say this real quick. McIntyre and Corbin, I think it's the worst match of the night, just because, like, why? Like, why is this match? Why is this match even happening? This is below Drew McIntyre's pay grade. Okay, Drew McIntyre, he was brought down to Baron Corbin, and he weighed him down. So it's an embarrassment, bro. This guy, 2020 main events WrestleMania twice with Brock Lesnar, the Big Show, and the same night main event in the WrestleMania, pal. Never been done before. Main event 2 WrestleManias back to back, pal. And then he opens up WrestleMania 37 with Lashley. And then 38, he's in the ring with Baron Corbin. And in the middle of this storyline that's been going on since like May of 2021, when Baron Corbin went down bad. Like, are you kidding me, bro? Like, this is all you got for Drew McIntyre? This is supposed to be the cornerstone of the wrestling company. This guy's a cornerstone of your company. Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2002 was asked to wrestle Razor Ramon, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and Stone Cold Steve Austin left. Drew McIntyre, just on merit alone, is a hell of a better man than Stone Cold Steve Austin was in 02. Because he's asked to wrestle Baron Corbin. Like, you think about on levels of stardom. Drew McIntyre is here. He's way up here. He's up here with Bill, pal. That's how high he is, right there with Bill. Baron Corbin.
Bill's the highest in the room, pal. Continue.
You can't even see where Baron Corbin is on the camera, pal. Baron Corbin's so far below Drew McIntyre on the star system. Like, we're going to look back on this WrestleMania. We're going to look back. We're going to remember Rick Boogs rupturing his ACL. We're going to remember The Miz turning on Logan Paul. We're going to remember Bianca Belair's entrance. We're going to remember Cody Rhodes' return and the great match he had with Seth Rollins. We're going to remember the shock that was Charlotte beating Ronda Rousey. We're going to remember Stone Cold's return. Yeah, some people will. Michael Cole will remind us in 15 years when she gets inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Continue.
And we're going to remember Stone Cold's triumphant return in Texas. We're going to look back and we're going to say, why the fuck did Drew McIntyre wrestle Baron Corbin? Why? Like, why did this guy who's a 7-time champion, this is 15 years in the future, 7-time, 8-time champion, 3-time Royal Rumble winner, main evented 4 WrestleManias, a couple against Roman Reigns, maybe one against like John Cena or something. Why did this guy wrestle Baron Corbin? Why did he have a main event match or an AEW dark match on WrestleMania, bro? But I'm done. That's the end of my tirade.
Wow. Yeah, no, I can say, like, when you got like little kids in like 7 years' time, like being like, oh, Drew's my favorite wrestler, and they're looking through Drew's Wikipedia for who he wrestled at WrestleMania. It's like, oh, he main evented. Oh, he faced Reigns 3 times. Oh, Baron Corbin. Oh, okay. What happened in WrestleMania 39? Next up on Wikipedia. Like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, granted, in 2 years' time, when we're getting like Drew McIntyre having like a blood feud with Gable Steveson, and they're fighting over, it's like the most patriotic, hate-filled storyline wrestling's ever seen, where Gable Stevenson's like waving an American flag in front of like Drew McIntyre's wife. And it's like a personal storyline. When we're getting that, we'll have forgotten about the Happy Corbin crap. But yeah, it just. Simply disgraceful, pal. Just sickening.
Terrible.
Just disgusting.
Despicable. The Young Bucks changed their bio, and you want to hear their new bio?
No, we're gone.
WTF? I thought we were gonna do All In too. Yeah, it's the Young Bucks, pal. So no All In too, pal.
Just like their episode of Sneaker Shop. Crickets.
Yikes.
No one cared.
Yikes.
Yeah, no, I'm just happy that, Kevin Owens didn't join them this year, because we never would have gotten this when we got WrestleMania. So yeah, Kevin, I think overall that's our WrestleMania Night 1 critical analysis and review. As far as my scheduling, I won't be able to do this for tomorrow, so
We'll see what we can do for the night 2 review. But yeah, you get a night 1 hour-and-a-half live stream. So
yes, sir. Here we are, pal. We're here making content for the people, Maggle.
Once a month, making content for the people, pal.
Making content, pal. Yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm ready to get up out of here. So yeah, thanks everybody for checking out the stream. Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, cheers. Thanks for the chat. It's been pretty consistent, the chat, all hour and a bit. I know most of you have been on streams or watching wrestling most of the day. So please log off your computers and go to bed, or just log off social media, just for your own health.
Go text some women or something, or men, whatever you're into.
Bro, you said women first. You're assuming people's sexualities, bro. Bro, cringe wrestling takes is gonna get you suspended, bro.
Go get some bitches.
Bro, what if someone in the chat's pansexual, bro?
All right. Good night, everyone.
Night.